If you're a gun owner or even someone who simply wants to stay informed about critical legal developments in the country, this is one of the most important updates you'll hear this year. A historic court ruling has just rocked the foundation of firearm regulations nationwide, and its implications will be felt by millions of Americans immediately. Today, we're breaking down 10 major gun law changes that every gun owner absolutely needs to know. These changes are far from minor. They are sweeping adjustments that could affect how you purchase, carry, store, and use firearms in your daily life. Missing this information could leave you unprepared, facing legal consequences, or even inadvertently violating laws you thought you understood. That's why it's crucial to pay attention right now. The first significant change centers around permit requirements. Historically, obtaining a firearm permit required navigating complex state-specific procedures, extensive paperwork, background checks, and often mandatory training courses. For decades, these processes were designed to regulate who could carry weapons in public and ensure responsible ownership. With this ruling, some states may now alter or eliminate these permit requirements, at least for certain types of firearms. This means that millions of Americans who were previously restricted by lengthy bureaucratic hurdles may now legally carry firearms more freely. However, the shift isn't uniform. Some states will maintain their requirements, while others will adapt rapidly. Gun owners need to be vigilant and fully understand their local laws because a misstep, even if unintentional, could have serious legal repercussions. The second change involves background check procedures, a cornerstone of gun regulation in the United States. Traditionally, every firearm purchase through a licensed dealer required a federal background check to verify the buyer's criminal history, mental health status, and other eligibility criteria. The court ruling doesn't completely remove background checks, but it does adjust when and how they are enforced. For instance, certain private sales or transfers may no longer require federal involvement, which could simplify the process for sellers and buyers alike. While this might seem beneficial, it introduces new responsibilities for gun owners to ensure all transactions are legal. Conducting transfers improperly could result in severe penalties, so it's imperative that everyone fully understands the revised rules. The third major change concerns carrying firearms in public spaces. In many states, laws restricted carrying guns in places like schools, government buildings, and public parks. With this ruling, states are now re-examining these limitations, potentially expanding where responsible citizens can carry their firearms. While this may empower gun owners to better protect themselves and their communities, it also requires careful attention to evolving regulations. Carrying a weapon legally in one state might not translate to legality just a few miles away, especially if local ordinances differ. For gun owners, awareness of jurisdiction-specific rules has never been more critical. Fourth, storage and safety requirements are seeing significant updates. Even with reduced restrictions, safe firearm storage remains essential. Historically, laws required locking firearms, restricting access to minors, and sometimes following specific storage protocols. While some states may relax certain mandates, gun owners must remember that responsible storage isn't just about compliance, it's about safety. Improperly stored firearms can lead to accidents, theft, and tragic outcomes. The court ruling might influence enforcement practices, but personal accountability remains paramount. Every gun owner must continue prioritizing secure storage to protect family members and prevent unauthorized use. The fifth change is related to magazine capacity limits. Several states had strict rules governing how many rounds a firearm could hold. This decision challenges or potentially removes these limits, allowing gun owners to possess higher capacity magazines legally. For firearm enthusiasts, competitive shooters, and self-defense advocates, this change is significant. However, it also raises questions about safety and responsibility. While the law may no longer restrict magazine capacity in certain states, every gun owner should understand the practical implications of using larger magazines, including the increased risk in untrained hands. Sixth, the ruling affects regulations on specific firearm types. High-capacity rifles, semi-automatic handguns, and other previously restricted weapons are now potentially available for legal purchase in jurisdictions where they were once prohibited. This change requires thorough understanding of definitions, legal classifications, and local restrictions. Not every state will adopt the same approach, so gun owners must exercise due diligence before acquiring these firearms. Additionally, this shift highlights the ongoing balance between individual rights and public safety, making knowledge, training, and responsibility more critical than ever. The seventh impact involves law enforcement authority. The court's decision modifies how local and state authorities can enforce firearm laws, potentially limiting their discretion to impose certain restrictions without explicit legislative support. This could make legal ownership easier in some areas, but it also introduces variability in enforcement. For gun owners, this change reinforces the importance of staying informed about local regulations. Law enforcement may interpret or enforce the law differently depending on the jurisdiction, making vigilance and knowledge the best tools for compliance and safety.
Eighth, interstate firearm sales are affected. Previously, purchasing guns across state lines involved complex regulations, including federal background checks and coordination between states. The court ruling may simplify these procedures, allowing legal buyers to access firearms more easily from other states. While this could expand access, it also adds responsibility.
Gun owners must be aware of both the originating state's laws and the laws in their home state to avoid accidental violations. Ignorance of the rules could result in serious legal consequences, making education and careful planning essential for responsible owners. The ninth change touches on concealed carry permits. Many states have may-issue systems, granting authorities discretion to approve or deny applications based on subjective criteria. The ruling could shift these systems toward shall-issue models, meaning qualified applicants are more consistently approved. This change can empower law-abiding citizens to carry concealed firearms legally, but it also emphasizes the importance of preparation. Applicants must still complete necessary training, maintain clean records, and adhere strictly to regulations. Concealed carry carries immense responsibility, and failure to comply with legal requirements can lead to severe consequences despite this ruling. Finally, the 10th major change affects legal penalties for gun law violations. Some of the most severe penalties, including long prison sentences or heavy fines, may be reevaluated or reduced, depending on how states implement the ruling. This change does not give anyone permission to ignore the law, but it does highlight the evolving nature of firearm regulations. Every gun owner must stay informed, understand which rules have changed, and continue to act responsibly. Compliance, education, and vigilance remain the best ways to exercise your rights safely while avoiding legal trouble. In addition to these 10 major changes, it's important to understand the broader implications of the ruling. This decision reflects a significant shift in the balance between individual rights and regulatory authority. It demonstrates that courts are increasingly attentive to constitutional protections for firearm ownership, but it also means states now face pressure to adapt their laws quickly. For gun owners, this creates both opportunity and responsibility. The landscape is changing rapidly, and those who stay informed will be best positioned to navigate it safely and legally. Education and awareness are more important now than ever. Whether it's understanding the new rules for permits, keeping up with changes in background checks, or learning which areas are now legal for carrying firearms, knowledge is power. Gun owners who take the time to learn about these changes can protect themselves, their families, and their communities. Being informed also prevents unintentional violations that could result in serious legal consequences. Moreover, the ruling underscores the importance of responsible firearm ownership beyond just legal compliance. Training, practice, and safety protocols are not optional. They're essential for every gun owner. As laws evolve, personal responsibility becomes the cornerstone of lawful ownership. Safe storage, proper handling, and awareness of local regulations are now more crucial than ever to ensure that rights are exercised safely and responsibly. As this new legal landscape unfolds, communication and community engagement also play a key role. Staying connected with local gun rights organizations, attending seminars or training sessions, and following updates from legal experts can provide critical insights. By actively participating in these communities, gun owners can remain informed about the latest changes, best practices, and ways to navigate the evolving regulatory environment. This historic ruling marks a turning point in firearm regulation in the United States. From permit requirements and background checks to storage laws, carry restrictions, and penalties, virtually every aspect of gun ownership is being affected. For gun owners, staying informed is no longer optional, it's essential. Understanding your rights, complying with new regulations, and practicing responsible ownership are the keys to navigating this new era safely and effectively.
In conclusion, these 10 major changes aren't just legal adjustments, they're a reminder that gun ownership carries immense responsibility. From understanding which permits are required to being aware of new background check procedures, carrying restrictions, storage obligations, magazine capacities, firearm classifications, law enforcement oversight, interstate sales, concealed carry, and penalties, there is a lot to absorb. But by staying informed, taking personal responsibility seriously, and continuing to prioritize safety, gun owners can confidently navigate this historic shift.
Now is the time to act. Review these 10 major changes, consult legal resources, and ensure you are fully compliant with your state's laws. The court ruling has opened new opportunities for lawful ownership, but it has also raised the stakes for responsible behavior. Staying informed, practicing safe storage, following carry regulations, and educating yourself on evolving laws will ensure that you remain a responsible, law-abiding gun owner in this new era. Knowledge, preparation, and vigilance are now more important than ever, and those who embrace these principles will not only protect themselves and their families, but also contribute to a safer, informed, and empowered firearm-owning community.